A glowing object darts past the Oklahoma City skyline, and in live news, in West Virginia, a woman driving to work films a strange creature walking with a bunch of deer, and on live TV, a caller's voice suddenly shifts mid-sentence into guttural growls and eerie laughter. This is more unexplained phenomena caught on live TV broadcasts. During News 4's live 9 p.m. newscast on CW43 in Oklahoma City this past February, meteorologist Aaron Brackett was presenting the weather using a sky cam near Penn Square Mall, pointing northwest when something unusual caught his eye. I start seeing this odd object, and it's flying faster, moving faster than anything I've really observed out there, Brackett said. The bright, fast-moving object zipped across the night sky on the live feed. Chopper 4 pilot Mason Dunn analyzed the footage and said he was, quote, pretty confident this wasn't a plane or a helicopter. The light was moving unusually fast. In October 2024, WSAZ in Huntington, West Virginia shared video of a strange creature spotted in Ritter Park. A woman named Brittany Keller was driving to work early in the morning when she saw what she described as a strange-looking creature walking among a small group of deer. Curious, she stopped and filmed it. Whenever I stopped to take a better look, I realized that it was something I'd never seen before, she told the news. It's a strange video. I mean, clearly this is not a deer. When Keller posted the video online, people started guessing what it could be. Some thought it looked like a lemur. Of course, though lemurs only live in Madagascar, more than 9,000 miles away. Others joked about it being something supernatural, but one local expert, Andy McKee, told WSAZ that it, quote, looks more like a fox with mange. Mange is a skin disease, of course, caused by mites that make animals lose fur and develop scabs, giving them that odd, almost alien-like look. But some people also said this could be an escaped coati, which apparently some people keep as pets. Hopefully that's not the case though, because this thing looks very thin. If it were a coati, it'd be a malnourished one for sure. During a live call-in show on an Islamic TV channel, things were going as usual, people phoning in to ask questions, get advice. Then a woman calls, saying she believes someone had cursed her with black magic and that a Jinn had possessed her. In Islamic belief, Jinn are spirits that exist alongside humans, sometimes good, sometimes not. She said she'd been praying non-stop to fight the thing off, but nothing seemed to be working. At first she sounded shaken, but still in control, at least she sounded like herself. But then, about a minute into the call, her voice changed. She starts making these low, inhuman growling noises. Then she suddenly breaks into this loud, unhinged laughter. Whether she was actually possessed or, just in some kind of mental distress or faking it, nobody really knows, but it is a spooky clip. In the summer of 2014, CNN covered a story out of Norwalk, California, a suburb just 25 miles from downtown Los Angeles. Security footage taken just before 4 a.m. on July 29th showed what looked like a big cat slowly walking behind a parked car. No one could figure out what this thing was. At first, people assumed it was a mountain lion. It's not unusual for Southern California, but the state's Department of Fish and Wildlife made a statement saying, quote, large cat-like animal captured on surveillance video is not a mountain lion. So what was it then? Well, they couldn't say for sure. Some people said it looked like an African lion. Others thought it was a leopard. One local commented that it might be a younger jaguar trying to, quote, reestablish itself in the Southwest. Police started patrolling the area more often in case the thing showed up. While Norwalk's Facebook page just filled up with comments. One sums the situation up pretty well. I don't know what's scarier, that it was a mountain lion or that officials still can't identify it. In 2023, a man in Clovis, California filmed a freaky animal raiding his chickens. I mean, how would you react if you saw this thing creeping into your yard? You probably don't need me to tell you, but this looks exactly like the Chupacabra. The story was featured on KMPH Fox 26 News, showing footage of the animal moving through the yard. Turns out, though, this was very likely a coyote with severe mange. Peter Tira, a public information officer for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, said, these are parasitic mites, little bugs that will reside on the host animal, and over time cause it to lose fur through bites and whatnot. Infection breaks out, and it creates a very unpleasant and unsightly looking animal. According to the Department of Fish and Wildlife, this coyote appears to have a weakened immune system, which allowed the mange to spread across its entire body. Crystal Woodward, founder of Pinkie Paw's Search and Rescue, said her team was planning to capture and treat the coyote. Woodward's group has treated other mangy coyotes before and said, "I believe every animal has a chance to live and should not be suffering like that." On February 11th, 2013, viewers across Montana and Michigan got the shock of their lives when their emergency alert system was hacked. During the broadcasts of The Steve Wilkos Show and Barney and Friends, the familiar emergency alert system warning tones suddenly sounded, but the warning was anything but ordinary.
Civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living.
And then it went on to say, do not attempt to approach or apprehend these bodies as they are considered extremely dangerous, and so on and so on. The alert interrupted at least 5 TV stations across Montana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and New Mexico. Now, it was pretty obvious this was a hoax because nobody was calling the cops about corpses springing up from their graves, but if you were a kid watching this, or, just really gullible, you would have been pretty freaked out. The hack was traced overseas. Investigators discovered the stations had failed to change their default passwords on their emergency equipment, so they were vulnerable. And to this day, we still don't know exactly who did this. But here's the thing, 4 years after the original 2013 zombie hack, it happened again. On February 28th, 2017, radio station WZZY in Winchester, Indiana, had their emergency alert system equipment hijacked as well. The same dead bodies rising from their graves audio from 2013 played over their airwaves. The incident prompted the cops to immediately issue a public statement clarifying that the station's alerting equipment had been hacked and there was no actual zombies walking around. During a live aerial segment filmed by a Fox 5 New York news chopper, something strange showed up on camera, a small orb-shaped object flying over the Hudson River near Lower Manhattan. The clip is only a few seconds long, but it's definitely weird. The object seems to glide past the skyline at high speed, and what makes it even stranger is how it changes color. At first it looks white, maybe see-through, but as it moves closer to the chopper, it turns blue before moving out of frame. Whatever this thing was, it moved way faster than anything else in frame, and seemed too low for a normal aircraft, and it'd be pretty silly to say this is a bird. Any thoughts on what this could be, though? Share them down below. Remember when there were all those reports about weird orbs and UAPs over New Jersey last year? There were some pretty interesting videos, but this one is particularly strange. Back in December, ABC News showed this odd footage of a colorful object in the sky. They had no idea what it was, and neither do I. It reminds me, though, of an energy blast from Dragon Ball Z, the way it's, I don't know how you describe it, moving, it's just got like energy and electricity moving through it. It's actually pretty cool if, it weren't hovering in the sky. On March 13th, 2010, people in Georgia sat down to watch what they thought was their usual Saturday evening news program on Ameti TV. Instead, they were hit with a breaking news report announcing that their president, with a name I'll butcher if I try to say it out loud, so I just won't even attempt it, had been assassinated and Russian tanks were invading the capital. It ran war footage, fake political statements, and claims that the Georgian army had begun fighting back. What no one realized was that this was all fake. And that's because the broadcast looked and sounded just as authentic as any real news story they'd cover. The channel said that the broadcast was meant as a simulation, but that message only appeared briefly at the start, and then most viewers missed it. So within minutes, panic had spread across the country. Some soldiers actually took up positions prepared for an actual attack. One man shouted, "What the hell's going on?" before collapsing from a heart attack. The channel's director stated that the purpose of the program was to demonstrate to Georgians the threats that they really were facing, saying, "The really unpleasant thing about yesterday's report, and I want everyone to understand this well, is that this report is as close to reality as possible to what may really happen, and to what Georgia's enemies keep in mind," end quote. Unfortunately though, because of this broadcast, 3 people ended up dying in all the panic and chaos. Well, with all that said, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.